Hello and good evening, this is Ruth Pozuelo from Curbal.com, and today is time again for DAX Fridays. And we are going to talk about ISFILTERED. It's a really useful DAX function, so let's go through it. Okay, first of all, let's look at what Microsoft says in the documentation. You can read here that it says it returns true when the column name is being filtered directly. Otherwise, it returns false if the filtering is happening on another column in the same table or on a related table. So it has to be being filtered directly. We will go through that in a second. And you just write is filter on the column name. It cannot be an expression, and otherwise you use cross filter. We will talk about this in another video, but this is basically it. It's not a lot and perhaps not very easy to understand, but I think with this example you will understand perfectly what they're talking about. So what we have here is a North Wind data set. It's a data set that is available for everybody to use and download. And what we have here is just a simple table that has month names, total sales, year-to-date sales, and previous year sales. Okay? And this has been filtered by the year 1998. So what we have here, there is a slight problem on this. When we have a year selected, everything is working perfectly. If I just remove the year filter, it will break. And the reason for this is the previous year function does not know what to filter on when there are month dates in here, or there are dates in here. So for example, if we would build exactly the same table, let me copy it, but instead of having month name, we put product name, and we remove the year filter, it works perfectly. Okay, it still knows that present year is 1998 and the previous year is 1997. That does not happen when you have dates in here, right? So what can we do? Well, there are actually two things that we're going to do. What we're going to do is to prevent these from breaking if for some reason the user does not choose a year. And then we're going to instruct the user on how to solve the problem or how to do it when, well, let's just start with how to fix this, that it is broken. So what we're going to do, we are going to, let's see where it is. Here's our previous year sales. I'm going to copy that, new measure, no year selected, and we're going to add an if statement. So if our year column is filtered, then do the previous year calculation. If it's not, then return blank. So let's try this function and see how it works. So now we have the year. We have, of course, to remove this one, otherwise it will break. So now we have a year selected, we remove it, and what you see is it returns blank. So if you see, it's working perfectly. If I select something, it gives me the previous year. If I don't, it gives me blank. Now, this is not very intuitive. We have to tell the user what's going on, why they are not seeing any previous year. Of course, they will not understand how this model is built. So there are a few options for that. one thing we could do is we could take this previous year calculation. Let's copy it. And not with text. And what we're going to do here is we're going to remove blank and instead tell the user what they need to do. Select a year in the slicer. So we put it in there, we remove the previous one, and this is quite cool, I think, because it's actually telling the user just you have to select something here, and when they select it, it just works. It's pretty neat solution. Another way to do this is to create a dynamic title that would do exactly the same. And guess what? To create the dynamic title, you need to use, probably you guessed it, we call it dynamic title, and we're going to use if is filtered here. Then right, so if something is filtered, we want to write sales current year, and for example. But if it's not, then we want to say select a year in the slicer, perhaps with a please. So, and of course it always ends up everywhere else but what I wanted, and we put it in here, do it like that, we remove that one, we don't want it, and let's put it in a nice color. That was not that nice. And so now we test it again. We have nothing selected, so please select a year in the slicer. When I do, it just changes. So you have both options depending on what your design style is, actually, because both of them work as well. I quite like to have it row by row. It's difficult to miss, you know. And then perhaps you can have here something else that is more important. I don't know. But a few solutions, anyhow. Okay, so this is all for today. If you like the video, let me know by liking it. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions, let me know in the comment box or any of the social channels listed below. And please subscribe. I publish power videos every week. And have a great evening. Bye bye.